headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work they love, actually be in a relationship with one another. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend George Camel, and we are taking your calls on life, money, marriage, relationships, mental health, whatever's going on in your life, your work. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. The call is free. Give us a buzz, and we look forward to talking with you. Let's go to Kimberly in Charlotte, North Carolina. What's up, Kimberly? How we doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Fantastic. What's up?
So I have a question. Me and my husband have just started watching Dave Ramsey. I'm 26. My husband is 24. We make about $105,000 a year before tax. We are debt-free except for our house mortgage, and we want to start investing. My question is, should we start investing now or work on paying our house off faster?
Yes. That's it. The answer is yes. And you're going to do both in baby step 4, 5, 6. We do them all at the same time. So you kind of get one plate spinning with baby step 4. Let's start investing 15% of our income into retirement. You guys don't have kids?
No, not yet.
Okay, so we're going to fast pass Disney style through baby step 5 for now and go to baby step 6. So any extra margin beyond that 15%, you can now throw on top of your principal mortgage.
Okay. Also, we have an $80,000 truck that is paid off. We paid it off in a year and a half.
Holy truck, Batman.
Selling
An $80,000? Does it fly?
Yeah.
What?
It was my husband's dream truck. He got it before we got married, and
then his dream truck turned into his dream wife, and now the dream truck has got to go away.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I think. He doesn't want to get rid of it, but would you recommend selling that and putting that down on the house or investing that?
This is me personally, not owning an $80,000 truck. Yes, absolutely. And our advice when it comes to toys, because let's be honest, an $80,000 truck is a toy, is not to have more than 50% of your income tied up in things with motors in them. And it sounds like you guys have as much income as you do toys.
Yeah.
What is your car worth?
My car's worth like $6,000.
Okay, hold on. What kind of grown man will allow his wife to drive a $6,000 car while he drives an $80,000 truck?
Hold on. Let me interject here, Kimberly, because George drives a Tesla.
John, this is beyond Tesla at this point.
No, I understand. I come from a truck driving state, a place where trucks are equal to, if not a little bit more important than the spouse. I get it.
There it is. You said it for me, John.
Yes, there is a. I know of trucks that cost $80,000, cost $110,000 that are tools. They have a utility to them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guys driving them.
Yeah,
I was like, John, that's me. Don't call them tools.
They have a utility.
They're nice guys.
So they are toys, but they're also utility. I also know a whole bunch of dudes who are leveraged to their eyeballs to drive an $80,000 truck when a used $20,000 version of that truck will last them for a long, long, long time. And as George mentioned, you guys don't make enough money to justify having an $80,000 depreciating asset in your driveway.
I know.
Especially
I just don't know how to get my husband convinced of it.
Well, here's the way to do it. This is not going to be a math problem. It might be. It could be. But this is I'm scared that we don't have an emergency fund. And you have an $80,000.
We do, actually.
Oh, you do? Okay. This is.
We do.
I want to be in a home. I want to start thinking now about what our life is going to look like in 5 years, in 10 years. And in 5 and 10 years, you're going to have a $40,000 truck sitting in the same spot in the driveway, and we're still not going to have a down payment on a house. I'd love to see you sell that $80,000 truck while people are still paying crazy amounts of money for used trucks, and go buy a nice $30,000 truck that's used, that's got mileage on it. Everybody's going to live, and let's take $50,000 and put that down on our house.
What's left on your mortgage?
Yeah. Pardon me?
What's left on the mortgage?
About $2 We actually just bought in August. It's like $220, I think.
Okay.
And we have it
50K will
set to
put a
pay
big
off
old
in
dent.
15 years.
Forget 15 years. You guys have a life to live. I don't want to be in debt for 15 years, do you?
No.
So let's have a goal of 5 or 7 or 10 at the most. And what is this 50K going to do to that goal? It's going to speed up that process.
By a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
So think of it this way. This has been I grew up and we didn't have a lot growing up, and money was a hard conversation, and I didn't know a lot of people with a lot of money for a lot of my life. And one of the ways when I get to sit by Dave every week, I get to sit by people who think about wealth differently. And one of the things they have taught me is to stop thinking about money in ways A, B, and C, or D. How can I get this thing? How can I see this? How can I make the shiny thing even shinier? And here's a unique take on money. How can I buy hours of my life? How can I buy back time? And so if you just look at your $105,000 household income that y'all make, and you think, how long would it take us to pay down $50,000 of our mortgage? That might be 1 or 2 or 3 years of your life. And we can buy 3 years of our life, 2 years of our life, if we just go sell this big dumb truck. And changing the way I look at my life now, I actually went and bought another mower because it took me 6 hours to mow my place out in the woods on a Saturday. Now me and my son do it together and we get done in 2. I just bought 4 hours of my life back. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I've started shifting. How can I've started paying for things that I don't normally pay for, but I've started thinking, how could I buy hours of my life back? And I want you to sit down with him and say, hey, we could accelerate this by 2 years, by 3 years, and then we can get a jump start on our debt-free life and bring a kid into a world that doesn't know what a mortgage even is. And it starts with selling your beloved baby out in the driveway.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes, I agree.
And we're all clear. You get the nice car next time, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
$6,000 versus $80,000. Have him call the show. George and I want to talk to him too.
What color is the truck? I'm just curious. What color is it?
It is red.
I knew it, John. I was thinking in my head.
He keeps it.
Oh my gosh.
He's had it for 2 years, and it's brand new. Like, he keeps that thing.
As soon as you called in, I was like, big white truck. I was like, this is a child who grew up and got money, and he wants a big white truck.
And hey, he doesn't have a mortgage on it, so high five to him. But man, that's a lot. Sell the truck, man. You know what? I'm going to challenge him. I'm going to challenge you to find a $10,000 truck that gets you to and from.
Whoa.
And put down $70,000 on your house. Move that sucker.
Baller.
Just accelerate it, man. Accelerate it. Buy back moments of your life. That'd be incredible. 888-825-5225. Give us a shout on the Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by my good friend George Camel. Let's go to Matthew in St. Louis, Missouri. What's up, Matthew?
Hi. Everything's great. I went to see the Chiefs last night and they won, but thanks for taking my call.
Way to go, Chiefs. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I like that guy. So what's up?
Yeah. So God has called us I'm a pastor to a new church in Alaska. We're moving down to the Aleutian Islands. Everything's provided. We don't have to send our furniture or anything. The issue is we have a house. The house is going to be sold for probably $200,000. You don't owe anything on it. And we're just trying. The only thing is it's by October 31st. We need to figure out what we're doing the next 2 weeks. If we keep the house, see if it doesn't work out, it'll cost us probably about, with insurance and everything, probably between $500 and $700 a month. Whereas we could sell it for $200,000 and just bank the money, and we'd have to pay a little bit per month, like maybe $50 to $100 for a storage unit. But I'm just driving back, and I never thought I'd even get on the Dave Ramsey show. So anyway, so that's my dilemma. Do I sell the house? Do I have friends watch it? It'll be vacant, but that's not a problem where we live.
How long are you thinking of well, I guess you don't know. Why doesn't God ever call people to Hawaii? You guys got called to Alaska. That just seems cold. Like, how long are you going to be there? Do you know?
Well, hopefully for a long, long time.
Okay.
And we won't come back to this town. That's the other thing.
We're never coming back.
Never.
Yeah.
So I like to think of it this way. If you lived in Alaska, would you buy real estate to hang on to in this little town that you're in right now? The answer is obviously no. So I would sell it and get out. And if you have to, I mean, that's why you have a realtor, that if you end up having to move before you sell it, great. That's their job, and they'll get it sold for you. I would challenge you to put as few things as possible in storage.
Yes.
Get rid of it.
Yes.
Sell it. Give it away. You're a
Yes.
pastor. You know people who are hurting and in need of things. Get rid of it, man. Cut ties. Having a storage space in a city 5,000 miles away from where you live is just a recipe for
never plan
anxiety.
on visiting again.
Exactly. If you get called to Hawaii or California or Texas or something like, the worst part, can you imagine driving all the way to wherever to have to get your couches and your popcorn maker that you're still never going to use? You know what I mean? It just becomes such a waste. Such a waste.
Thank you so much for taking my call, and this will help because I'm talking it all over with my wife. In fact, she knows we're in Alaska, but the whole idea of selling it, and if I say, I got to talk to Dave Ramsey, that'll because that's what I was kind of thinking that way. But thank you all.
Yeah, tell him you talk to Dave. That'll help the conversation.
Yes.
Not John and
George and I, man, when it's to our benefit, we say that we're Dave often. It helps a lot.
You sound like him. God bless. Thank you.
Awesome. Very
I
cool.
love it.
All right, let's go to Kia in Washington, D.C. What's up, Kia?
Hi, how
Is
are
it
you?
Kaya?
Oh,
I
it's
feel like John
Kaya.
screwed it
Did
up.
I screw that up?
Yes. Yes.
I
I'm
felt it in my
sorry.
heart.
I'm sorry. What's up, Kaya?
So I'm 22. I recently graduated from college with a degree in economics. I'm currently working in the defense industry, making $65K annually. Right now, I'm putting 6% of my income into my 401K with an employer match of 5.5%. I'm saving around $2,700 a month until December. When I move out, I'll be only saving around $1,600 a month. Right now, I'm not quite sure what to do with this money I am saving. I have about $16,000 already saved in a high yield savings account and $7,000 in an investment portfolio. So I'm just not sure if I should increase my 401k or just keep saving.
Kaya, how did you get so smart? I'm just wondering, on behalf of all 22-year-olds, where did this come from?
Well, I didn't have the best financial situation as a kid. So money when I was 16-year-old was the main thing that I focused on, and I started working at 16. I've been saving ever since.
You're incredible.
Hey, yeah, before you jump into this, George, don't lose that, okay, Kia? That's such a gift because it says to me that you looked in the mirror at some point and you said, this stops with me. And I had the opportunity to go to college, and I got to watch my mom and dad. They'd already blazed that trail. I got to learn hard lessons, but people had already blazed those trails ahead of me, and you had to go off in the woods by yourself and cut your own trails. And so you're an amazing young woman, and please don't lose that, okay?
Thank you.
The world needs more of you. Okay, go ahead, George.
So, Kaya, I'm assuming you have such a great head on your shoulders. Do you not have any debt?
No, I don't.
Love it. And you have an emergency fund as well on top of the $16K, or is that included?
No, that's including the emergency fund.
Okay. So would you call 3 to 6 months of expenses about $15K?
Yes.
Okay. So there's really not a ton of wiggle room on top of your savings. You've basically gotten through baby step 3, and now we're investing 15% of our income into retirement. And so I would up that 6% to start. Can you get to 15%?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. And is that a 401k? What's the retirement situation?
Oh, yes, it's a 401k, and then I have about $2,000 in a Roth IRA from years ago.
Awesome. Do they have a Roth 401k option?
They do, yes.
Awesome. Well, you can go ahead and invest all 15% into that Roth 401k and make it really simple.
Okay.
And then any money beyond that, we can start saving up for goals. Right now, you're just saving to save. I want you to have something you're aiming towards so that you can be a little more excited about it. So do you want to be a homeowner one day in your area?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be my next goal. How can we start to save up 10, even 20% down on a home in my area and start doing the math, crunching the numbers, and figuring out how we're going to get there?
Right.
Would that be your next goal? You got a good vehicle that's safe and reliable?
Well, I've been driving in my 2009 Yaris for quite some time.
There you go.
She's gone.
That's great. Well, you may want to save up, to replace that car in the next few years as well. So you can have different goals you're saving towards and just put it in ratios and say, I'm saving 15% to retirement. I'm going to put $500 a month into a savings account over here to upgrade the car, and another $1,000 a month towards the down payment savings, so that 3 years from now, I'm going to have $36,000 for a down payment. And so start setting those goals in every area.
Kia, how old are you?
22.
Okay. Common challenge for 22-year-olds who are as driven and outside of the box as you are is the tendency to, you've been fighting for a long time. You've been doing things on your own for a long, long time. And now you've, quote unquote, made it to this big goal. You got out of college, you got your job, you're debt free. And now you're having to do something you've never had to do before, which is to settle in. Okay? And so your next journey is not how to survive, not how to win with money. You're doing that. You're so far ahead of the game, it's unbelievable. You will be a multi-millionaire and be able to give and live like very few people you know. Your challenge over the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years is, how can I become comfortable in Kaya's skin? How can I just settle in and do really, really good work and then have really great relationships outside of work? How can I laugh? How can I go hang out with friends? You see what I'm saying? This is going to be your new skill set because you are really, really good at driving. What we want to do, like George said, we want to have a goal financially. We want to have a house. We want to get a car. We want to have just some arbitrary $1 million number in the bank account, whatever. We also want to have a life worth living.
Right.
We want to have people worth laughing with and weeping with. We want to have people that can show up at 2 a.m. We want to have neighbors that we can count on when the power goes out, and the power will always go out, right? So we want to have these financial goals, want to have professional goals, and we now want to begin to build a life worth living. And this is just your new adventure. Cool. You up for it?
Yes.
Time to go on vacation.
That's awesome.
A vacation's so good you forget to Instagram it.
Yeah.
Now that is a cool goal.
You just blew her mind.
I don't think a 22-year-old can understand that, John. You did it.
Yes, but I'm old.
That's true.
We'll be right back.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back, America. Big news. We are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Borrowed Future's launch by premiering the documentary film on YouTube Monday, October 17th at 7 p.m. Central Time with a watch party. That's right. Borrowed Future is our award-winning documentary that uncovers the dark side of the student loan industry, and we believe that every single high schooler and parent of high schoolers should watch this film. So make sure you share this with someone you know that needs it. You can follow the watch party on October 17th, and then you can view Borrowed Future on demand on YouTube for free. You're welcome, America. Up until that point, it has been about $5 on our website, on Amazon Prime, wherever you watch stuff, Apple TV, Google Play, and it's still available there where you can rent it ad-free. And so if you want to watch it without ads, you can do it there. If you want to watch it with the ads, you can do that on YouTube. Zero cost to you. So let's continue to disrupt the toxic student loan industry. Join us Monday night for our Borrowed Future watch party on YouTube. You can RSVP there right now for a reminder. Just go to our YouTube channel, hit RSVP. We'll send you a reminder. I know John and I, we're going to throw a little party ourselves. A little popcorn? What do you think?
Absolutely. When Monday rolls around, I usually stop and think, man, I need to get in front of YouTube. And
with the kids.
With the kids.
Yep.
And watch
I'll
a show.
bring my dogs.
Yeah,
because I think by the time my dogs are old enough, dog college will exist.
Couple things. Already does. And it's for puppies. And I'm just thinking back to my colleagues that still work at universities, and it wouldn't surprise me if
that was a thing.
Get an email from somebody in admissions, university admissions, just saying, hey, could you house a pet? Mr. Kamel would like to enroll his 2 pugs into the university.
They're French bulldogs. Give them the credit they deserve.
What would they? They have flat faces. They ran into a wall. What would they study, George?
I think it would be culinary arts. They're very food motivated.
If you ever are driving down the road and you think, I think we're going to be all right, just as a country, we're not.
I'm here to give you hope.
Of the guys like this.
Well, aside from that, if you have real, actual humans in your house or you plan to, this is a must-watch documentary. And my friend Dr. John Deloney,
check it out.
He's featured in it, by the way, and you have some really great things to say. They edited around all the other stuff perfectly.
There's nothing like doing a 2 or 3 hour interview and 4.5 minutes of it shows up, but it's good. It's good.
So good. 88 minutes long. It will change the way you see college and further education. It will actually start some conversations with your kids.
Yes.
And they'll be the ones starting it, going, wait, Mom, is that true, Mom and Dad, that this whole thing is like a scam? And they're like, yes, son, absolutely.
Well, and hey, my friends who work in higher ed, I will defend them to the end of the earth. They're great people trying to do the best they can, trying to help communities, help young people, help people coming back and want to change careers. Watch this documentary, because even if you disagree with it, this is what people are feeling. This is the other side of the conversation that I did not know existed when I lived in this world, and it has been an eye-opening, jarring conversation on the other side of it.
So Monday, October 17th.
Can't wait.
7 p.m., Monday, October 17th, Central Time. Tune in, go RSVP on our YouTube channel, and we'll be watching with you, America.
Very cool. All right, let's go to Judd in San Antonio, Texas, the most San Antonio name I can think of. What's up, Judd?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good. What's up?
Hey, so we just moved to San Antonio, actually, from California, and we are working on Baby Steps 2. And one of the biggest things that we have in debt are our vehicles. One of them, I'm upside down a couple grand. The other one, we're in a little bit of positive equity right now because of the way the market is right now. My question is, we have 2 kids, and my wife and I both work, so we still technically need 2 cars. would it be okay if I got rid of the more expensive vehicle, which would have the negative equity on it, and actually get a small personal loan to cover that negative equity, to lower the amount of debt that I have or we have?
That is an option. It's not my favorite option, but it is an option. The best option is for you to find the money and cover the difference in cash, but it is the only time we would tell you it's okay to go into debt is to fix this upside-down car situation by getting a personal loan from a credit union to cover the difference, and then we aggressively pay down that smaller loan that we now have. So how far upside down are you?
I haven't gotten an exact number from a dealership, but going to like Kelley Blue Book or the other sites, I would be anywhere from, depending on what they actually give me for the car, anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000.
Okay.
Put it on Facebook Marketplace today. Try to cover the gap. If it's that close from a dealer, I think you can make that. I think you can sell it.
Okay.
Even if you come off even Steven. If you tell the person you're selling the car to, I'm just trying to pay this note off. So this is like, I'm walking away here. We're high-fiving. I'm going to walk away with zero, and you're going to get a good deal on a car. You're going to sell that car this weekend.
Okay.
How much money do you guys have in the bank right now? That's never a good sign. Just a chuckle.
That was not a funny question.
We're working on baby steps right now, so we're still trying to figure out our budget. Like I said, we just moved out here. Our income has
you
dropped.
just moved from California to Texas. It's weird keeping all of your paycheck like this, right? You just have all this money.
But if you check your checking account right now, between checking and savings, what's in there?
About $1,500.
Okay, that helps me. So the question is, how quickly can we get another $500, another $1,000 in the door so that we don't have to take out a loan, even if there is a gap? Ideally, you can just sell it and you clear it. But if there is a gap, you should be able to cover that in cash pretty quickly. Sell stuff, side hustles, you name it.
Okay. All right, cool. So what's your debit card number, George?
Oh, sweet. Let me make sure to give that to you on air, my friend. Listen, you can do this, Judd.
You can. You've already made one good decision, moving, and so now next good decision. Don't go further into debt.
I still might consider selling the other car if you can make a profit on it, and then just buying two cheaper cars, because you're still going to need a car at the end of this.
Yes.
So what's the profit you could make on that other car?
Pretty much about what I would need to cover the other note.
Oh, okay. So you're saying a few grand?
It could be $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay. Because if you sell both, you're going to have zero cars. And so we have to think about, okay, how can we scrape together enough money so that if we sell both of these, we can buy two cheaper beater cars for now? $5,000 each.
I do just have a very small Roth IRA, which has about $4,500 into it. Would you recommend pulling from that to pay off the balance?
Never pull.
Question of a desperate man. Don't do it.
Okay.
If you had non-retirement funds, like if they were just in a taxable brokerage account or some single stocks, I would tell you to cash those out. But retirement, man, you're going to face so many fees and penalties and taxes, it is not worth it.
Okay. All right. Very good.
You can do this, man. It's going to take a little bit of work and sacrifice, but, sometimes we need to be humbled by driving the beater car for a while and going, yep, this is me acting my wage for now.
I have been humbled for many, 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 many years. Hey, every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream on the show, it's because at some point they said, I've had it. I'm not living like this anymore. And when you get mad like that and then you do what they did, your life will change too. And right now, inflation and your stupid credit cards and your student loans and your car notes, it's killing you. You've been led to believe that you're not in control of your money, and that is wrong. You have to decide to control what you can control, and that's you. The way you think about things and what you do, your actions. You have the power to change your future, and Financial Peace University will show you how. This course will teach you the proven step-by-step plan that's helped nearly 10 million people beat debt, master budgeting, and build wealth. And you can do it too. We had a great meeting last night, George, with our new personality, our friend Jade. Paid off $1 billion.
$460,000.
$460,000. You know what? I love it. Like just wiping the excuses off the table.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
tell
care.
Me you can't.
You owe $15,000. You owe $400,000. The steps work. The steps work. Stop letting debt and money stress control your life. Say, I've had it, and take back your control. Start Financial Peace University at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Triple 825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Campbell. Let's go out to Noel in Newark, New Jersey. What is up, Noel?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show today. I've found myself in a predicament. I'm following the Ramsey program and doing really well with it. I think as it stands now, I should be completely debt free by April. And I want to stay on track, but a little bit of background of what's going on is I am a recovering alcoholic and, drug addict, and been in recovery for 30 years will be April. Got sober as a teenager.
Congratulations,
but what's happened is the 12 steps are kind of not doing it. I'm opening the door to more deeper issues, things with mother enmeshment. There's intimacy anorexia, which is not a really sort of widely known topic, but it's something that requires professional help. And I'm seeking therapy with brain spotting, which is a version of EMDR. Sure. And all of these things are, private pay. Insurance isn't going to cover this. And I've done enough of them to know that the answer is here. Okay. And I need to seek this more. But there's no room in my budget. I mean, it's just, there's no room. And so the only option it looks like I have to do is to put it on a credit card. And, the therapy that I'm looking to do is making me need to pay like $900 to $1,000 more a month than what I'm physically able to afford with my full-time job.
So I'm going to walk through this backwards, okay?
Mm-hmm.
My first statement is I'm proud of you. What you've done over the last 30 years is hard. Fair?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And it's monotonous, and it's every single day, and it's every single hour, and it's a beating. And we often, like when you see somebody and you haven't seen them in 15 months or in 3 years, and they've lost a lot of weight, and you're like, oh my gosh, you look great. And it happened to them every minute, every choice of the thing they didn't eat, and every exercise they did. And for you just see it all at once. And so I want to step back and just applaud you. It's hard what you've done. That's incredible. And good for you for having the courage to go deeper, right? To actually get to the root of some of these things. And you've been controlling behavior and controlling thoughts for 30 years, and now you're ready to heal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. And I've been down the EMDR rabbit holes. I sat through a brain spotting session once. It's incredible, right? It's amazing stuff. I would tell you a couple of things. Number one, if you have found a therapy that you think is helpful and it's leading you in the right direction, choosing to not do that is not wise. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've landed there. And I really challenge you. I disagree with your sentiment saying that this stuff is forcing you to then make a decision that is going to hurt you, which is putting this on a credit card. That's addiction language. I have to do this so that because I have to do this, and this is just the predicament. I call bullcrap on that.
Okay.
Is that fair? So we're going to take, just like we take alcohol out of the house. It can't be here, right? I can't have it here. We're going to take debt out of the house. That isn't an option. So what else becomes an option? Do I have to drive for Uber just to pay for therapy? And let me be honest, I know what I'm telling you is nuts, and I want to tell you I've been there. I've got to do extra things so I can afford the money so I can just go to counseling. Okay, I've had to do that myself. Am I going to drive Uber? Am I going to take overtime? Am I going to stay late? Am I going to let other things go that have been a part of my healing journey because I need this medicine, I need this therapy right now? And here's what my promise is. If you'll put the time in and you'll work out a plan with your therapist on how we're going to make this work financially and how we're going to make this work in your life, it's little wins. And you're going to have some skin in the game now. See what I'm saying? You are going to be taking above and beyond active approach in your mental health. And not just mental health. You're about healing. This is surgery, right? This is getting in deep and getting out the infection that's been there for a long, long time. You're worth that extra effort. But blaming this on a shortcut that's going to end up costing you down the road is just going to loop you back into another mess. See what I'm saying?
Yes. And that's what I was afraid of happening. And I've been like, all right, what would Ramsey say? Which is basically the Ramsey solution, right? And nothing came up. So the ability to come here and talk about this, I mean,
I'm also going to tell you to pause. Hey, if you are in true need of what you're talking about, for those who don't know, EMDR, brain spotting, you are talking about trauma healing, and you are talking about intense trauma therapy for a short season. And so I'll tell you, stop paying off your debt and get healthy. I wouldn't tell you to forego your heart care medicine to keep paying on baby step 2. No, dude, don't die. That's number 1, right? So let's get the trauma therapy you need. So stop paying on your debts for right now. Pause for a minute and take 2, 3, 4 months to get well. I also will challenge your therapist. If they're charging you $900 a month, cash pay. Well,
it's different therapy.
Different providers, and you're having to go to multiple people and multiple things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would love for you to sit down with somebody and see if you can coordinate some of this care. Meaning, it may be that I'm going to do EMDR or brain spotting on once a month, and I'm going to go to therapy on the other 3. Would that work? I don't know the efficacy of what your particular issues are and what your particular needs are. It may not work that way, but I want you to have that conversation, not just go, okay, and then the next one, okay, and the next one, okay. A part of my getting well, I ended up being I'm going to say a wisdom collector. I went to a counselor over here. I met with a coach over here. My buddy was a therapist, so I always hang out with him. I had a medical doctor friend over here. And dude, really,
church, everything.
I needed to do the hard work.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I've been called out on that.
Okay. Okay, so same team. I want you to take debt out of the house. And then sit down with your therapist and be about building a plan that works for you, both financially, both psychologically, and both that works, and all together works through your life.
And no, I'm going to gift you 1 year of Financial Peace University as well as Every Dollar Premium, our budgeting tool. And because what it comes down to is if you're $900 short and you're saying my life depends on getting this so that I can be well, then you're going to do whatever it takes to find that $900. And if that means cutting subscriptions, if that means driving for Uber, delivering groceries, dog sitting, babysitting, you name it, you're going to do it. And so that budget will start to show you where your options lie and where you can start shaving expenses and what that extra $200 a month could do for your budget. And I mean not eating out, because we're going to meal plan so that we can afford this level of care. And so you're going to have to get really creative. But that FPU coupled with Every Dollar to really put that plan on paper and you stick to it, because following that budget means you can get the care you need. That is the best reason to budget I've heard of today.
There you go.
And so we're going to gift that to you for 1 year to help walk with you as you continue to heal from this.
And hang on the line, and we'll also gift you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's my gift to you, and I want you to read that book, work through it, and then highlight the things that are important to you and bring those to your counselor. And they become good places to start, right? Good jumping off points to talk about. So thank you so much for your bravery, and golly, dude, you've been working hard for a long, long time.
This dude is
Congratulations.
impressive.
Yeah. That's for the people who have not been in recovery for that long, it's a lot. It's so heavy and it's so hard and it's so every day. There's that old saying, you can never work out enough. Like, you can't never have such a great workout on Monday that you don't have to get up and do something on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? And I wish I could just put it all on the line on Monday and then be like, all right, that's my workout for October. I'm squared up. It's not how it works. And, man, same thing with recovery. It's minute by minute, hour by hour for a long
daily
time.
battle.
That's exactly right.
Keep
Well, hey,
fighting.
thanks to everybody in the booth for running the show, even James Childs. Thank you so much. Thank you, George, my co-host, and thank you, America, for listening to us. We got 1 hour in the books. We will be back shortly on The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. On The Ramsey Show, we help people build wealth, do work they love, and create relationships. It's the foundation. We're so glad that you're with us. 888-825-5225. Calls toll free, and that's about what the advice is worth. 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Camel, and we are taking your calls on life, work, money, mental health, all of it. Let's go to Michelle in Cincinnati, Ohio. What's up, Michelle?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. What's up?
So earlier this year, my mom passed away, and I inherited an IRA for her. Or now for my benefit, and some silver bars and coins. So I'm really just trying to figure out primarily what to do with the inherited IRA.
Well, what happened with your mom?
Cancer.
Oh, gosh. What was the duration?
Probably like a year, but then it definitely started to accelerate. Towards the end, it started spreading. So at that point, it went pretty fast.
George and I, we're just sitting here, both of us. I can feel it in the room. We both love our moms. I'm sorry. That's hard.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for trusting us with your call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like she left a legacy for you, with a pile of money instead of a pile of stress, trying to figure out the financial part. How much was in the inherited IRA?
It's about $80,000.
Okay. And the silver and gold, have you taken that to figure out how much that's worth?
I don't really know what to do with it. I don't know if I should go to a jeweler or go to a coin, cash in your coins, but people that buy silver and gold stuff.
I would put it in a coffee can and bury it in the backyard just in case it all comes down, Michelle.
Right.
You never know.
The apocalypse happens. We're all going to be gone. I need a gold bar right now to survive.
Exactly. When people are struggling for food and water, you'll have a can of gold bars. That's what we need here.
Yeah, I would definitely sell it. I would start with a jeweler and figure out what the weight is and all of that, and figure out what it's worth, and they may be able to help you in selling that and recommending some further options for you.
How much gold and silver are we talking? Like 3 or 4 bars, or you got a bag of it somewhere?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's bars and coins. So.
Okay. You're going to probably not want to have your address on the internet for the next few months, right? I would do that sooner rather than later, and I'd probably get, if this is me, I'd probably get 2 or 3 different opinions.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Tell the jeweler who's going to try to make you a deal, thank you very, very much, and you'll think about it and be back.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Where are you at financially?
We are doing really well. My husband and I. We just really have, as far as the only liability would be his vehicle. We have a loan on his vehicle, and then our home.
Okay. Do you guys have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses?
Yeah.
Okay. What's left on the car loan?
It's about 20. We ended up, it kind of all happened around the same time that my mom was passing, and we just were just get the loan, and then we're going to pay that off in a year. So we already have a plan. We want to pay that off and just be done with it.
What's your household income?
But that's not, we don't want to touch any of the inheritance that I received.
You don't want to touch it. What do you mean by, are you, you called and asked what to do with it?
I don't want to use planning with the inherited IRA or something for our kids.
So this is a common thing that we do is we attach meaning to gifts like this, right?
Yeah.
And we end
up...
Well,
when your mom tells you that.
Right. Totally understood.
Listen.
But you see you're holding a 7% car note on a depreciating asset in one hand, and then you're holding gold bars on the other hand. You see what I'm saying? And so it becomes downstream, the greatest thing you can do for your legacy, if you will, is to stop letting that legacy money make somebody else rich in the meantime.
Yeah.
So you can have a fully funded, you can have this IRA, you can have a bag full of gold in the backyard, and we're saving it to help somebody else down the road, and then at that same time your money's walking out the back door, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the reality.
The best legacy you can leave is while you're alive, and that's getting completely debt-free while your kids are still young, and you have all of your income at your disposal. And now we can create amazing memories and experiences and start funding college. And that's things we can't do when we have payments hanging over our head. And so if you want, here's what it's clear you want to not touch this for now. What if we sell the silver and gold? Hopefully that's enough to cover the car loan. That would be cool. And that puts you guys at baby step 4, where you have a fully funded emergency fund and no consumer debt. Now we can begin investing 15% to retirement and throwing any future income extra margin at the house. And personally, I mean, you got the 10-year rule with the inherited IRA. So you have 10 years to use that money.
And that's what I just don't know what to do with.
So I
don't know.
You're going to have to take it out at some point. And so we can't
just but I don't know what to put it in an investment account or add it to our kids' 529s or I don't know.
You can do a little bit of everything. You can invest some of it. You can save for college with some of it. And you can throw some of it towards the house. You can take some of it and go on a vacation. It's a choose-your-own adventure at 4, 5, 6, but you still have to be intentional about making those things happen. You're investing 15%. We've got some put away for college. We've got some extra going towards the house. And you can do a little bit every year if you want with the 10-year rule. And obviously work with a tax advisor. I assume this was a traditional IRA, so there will be taxes on anything you withdraw?
Yeah.
Okay. So just work with a tax pro to figure out what is this going to mean for our tax situation for next year if we withdraw any of this money and it creates extra income for us. Because it will be taxed at your normal income tax rate.
I can speak to what I would do in my house, and I am 98.5% sure that I would take this and pay my house off.
I thought about that.
I would pay my house off. I would clear everything. And from this point forward, every single dollar that went into my house, that came into my home, would be for what we wanted to do with it. I would be making nobody else rich off my hard work from this point forward. And then I would save like mad for college and for down the road, and I would be in the driver's seat of my own legacy at that point because I would owe nobody anything. That's just what I would do if it was me.
I'm with John. We're just two guys' opinion.
Two guys' opinions who don't like owing people money. Hey, we'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Triple 825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Campbell. Let's go out to Will in Birmingham. What's up, Will? How are we doing?
I'm just chilling out. How are you doing today?
Outstanding. How can we help?
So, as a bit of background, I'm 17 years old, about to go to college, and I am medically diagnosed with autism and ADHD.
Okay.
And my biggest fear is being dependent on the government or anyone else. And I guess my question is, how can I go through my life as a disabled person without being reliant on somebody else financially?
So number one, don't ever refer to yourself as disabled again. Cool?
Yes, sir.
Cool. You have some unique exceptionalities and you see the world differently. You're not neurotypical. Big deal. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fair. So
yes.
what does your autistic diagnostic? What does autism prohibit you from doing, and what does it help you do?
My autism mainly affects my behavior. I can't read social situations at all.
Okay.
And there are many times where it affects my employment.
Okay. What are some things that your autism provides you that put you ahead of the people around you?
Me personally, I feel that I'm very focused on what needs to be focused on. I can pick out a situation and get it over with pretty quickly.
Several of my favorite law students ever were high-functioning autistic. They were incredible and brilliant and struggled with social cues. And so they went into more of business law and contract law, where they spent a lot of time writing and reading and thinking through complex problems. And then their interaction with the world was largely written, right? And that's just one tiny sliver. I want you to not head into the next stage of your life, into college. And have you already been accepted? You already been out applying?
No, I'm not applied yet.
Okay. I don't want you to head into this season with your head down. Okay?
Okay.
I want you to head into the season with your head up. You've got some challenges. I want you to think of social cues as skills. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Those are some skills you're going to learn. And you're going to get in an ABA program. You're going to meet with the college student support services, and they are going to put you in contact with people that are going to help you through your academic journey. Now, the other thing, what you said, I get with all my heart. I don't want to be reliant on the government. Man, how old are you?
17.
I get that sentiment. What I don't like about that is none of us, you, me, George, my wife, my kids, none of us get through life without other people walking alongside us and supporting and helping us. So I get you wanting to be autonomous, and I get you wanting to stand up on your own 2 feet. That idea is noble. It's not reality for any of us. Okay? What I want you to do is have the courage and the foresight to ask for support and assistance when you need it, especially academically and socially in college. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I want you to think of asking for support and asking for help as a skill to practice, because you've probably either never done it, you hadn't had to, because you are smart enough and driven enough to just get through your assignments in high school, right? You can just buzz through that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? College is going to be hard. And some of that stuff's on a time schedule. Some of that's working in groups, and you don't like working in groups, or your body reacts to working in groups, right? And you get frustrated, and then people are like, he's scaring, all those things, skills, okay? And we're going to reach out for support and help with those skills. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay. The world will be a better place because you are in it. Do you believe that?
I tried to.
Okay. I don't lie. And in fact, I don't lie to a fault sometimes. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. Now, your job moving forward is to take a uncritical, head up, walking into the challenges that lay before you, not as someone who's quote unquote behind the 8 ball already, who's less than, but somebody's got different challenges than other people do. And I don't want to make light of it. You got significant challenges. It's going to be a different road for you than it was for me. And you are absolutely up to the challenge. Do you believe that?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So I'm proud of you.
Well, what are some of your talents, interests, things you've been thinking about pursuing or studying?
Well, I love to be a writer, author, or something along those lines.
Excellent.
Well, that's something that doesn't involve being around a ton of people all the time. And there's a lot of roles like that. And so
George and I are writing books right now, and it's the loneliest.
So lonely.
It's the loneliest thing in the world.
John, do you want to write together?
No.
But there's a ton of jobs. I mean, even you think about computer programming and accounting and, auto mechanics and journalists and the trades. There's so many things that you can do. And so I just don't want you to paint yourself in a corner and go, well, who's going to hire a guy like me?
Right.
And what skills do I have? Dude, there's so much value you can bring to your communities and so much impact you can have regardless of where you're at right now.
And can I tell you this, Will? Now most of my day is taken up doing podcasts, YouTube, and social media stuff. None of those things existed when I was 17. They didn't exist. And so what I don't want you to do is to rehearse tragedy, rehearse dismay. I don't want you to spend a lot of 17-year-old, 18-year-old energy worrying about things that may never come to pass. Instead, I want you to put your head up, walk into the challenges that are before you, and let those challenges consume your day, not imaginary challenges that may or may not come down the road. Okay?
Okay.
And that is much harder than I just said it. I carry a journal with me because I have a bad habit of that too. Okay? And I'm not on the spectrum. Is that cool?
Yes.
Awesome. I want you to hang on the line. We're going to send you a couple of things to get you going. We're going to send you Anthony O'Neill's book, our good friend Anthony O'Neill, The Debt-Free Degree. As you enter into the college process, we want you to do that debt-free, and it's got a step-by-step guide there. I'm going to send you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's a step-by-step. Here's how we're going to build what comes next. And we're also going to send you Financial Peace University for a year. I want you to start learning the skills of budgeting, learning the skills of asking yourself, what do I need? And then how am I going to get there moving forward? And this is going to, there's going to be 9 videos. I want you to watch them. I want you to pay attention and internalize them. And if your mom and dad or your friends will watch it with you, that'd be fantastic as well. But we're going to give you several tools here to get you
I'm going to do one more, John.
Okay?
Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose.
Love it.
I think that will help him figure out what that next thing is that he can sink his teeth into.
Love it. And heading into college, man, here's what I'll tell everybody. If you can learn to write, you can work anywhere, right? You can work anywhere. My dad used to tell me when I was a little kid playing Little League, if you can hit, they will find a place on the field for you. They will figure out a way to get you on there if you can hit the ball. It's writing now. If you can write, whether it's social media, whether it's long form, whether it's short form, whether it's expense reports, whether it is, things that lawyers write, doctors write. If you can write, they will find a place for you.
That makes me feel better, John. I'm so glad we moved from being able to hit a ball to being able to write a sentence. That is something I can do.
We're getting there, George. We're getting there. George, we are way, way ahead here. But tell us, what are you thinking about writing about?
Well, John, as I've been here for 9 years and kind of been a part of this journey battling against such toxic myths that we believe as a culture that have led us into this place, I really want to hit that head on. And a lot of stuff I did in fine print and what we cover in Borrowed Future and showing people a path out. Because I was that guy who thought, well, this is normal. And I realized normal sucks and there's another way to live. And so I want to unpack that system for people and go, oh my gosh, I was believing a lie. Now I'm outside of the matrix. Now we can become debt-free and live life on our terms instead of the lender's terms. And so that's a little bit of what I'm working on, but I'm excited about it.
Love it, love it, love it. I can't wait to read it. Hey, this is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promo codes they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Lauren in New Mexico. She says, my husband claims to be a, air quotes, Dave Ramsey guy. To his credit, we are now debt-free with no mortgage, but we are not on the same page financially. I do not know how much money is in our accounts, nor do I know what accounts we have or how much money he makes. He is self-employed with a few business ventures. I currently do not have a job as I oversee care for my 85-year-old father and homeschool our special needs daughter. I can figure it all out by force, but want him to share and include me voluntarily. Do I keep waiting for a calm and peaceful inclusion in our finances, or do I just gather the information against his will and move on?
Lauren, that will never come. There will never be a moment he's driving down the road and thinks to himself, whoa, I'm an arrogant jerk who wields I know something you don't know as a form of power in my marriage. Or, you know what? I treat my wife like a 7-year-old daughter. That's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to sit down and say, not knowing our financial position, not knowing where the money is, what you owe, what businesses you have, scares me to death. I can't breathe when I think about our money because I don't know where it is. I don't know anything. And if you die, I don't know what to do next. And if you live, I don't know what to do next. And I'm watching my 85-year-old dad pass away in front of me. I'm homeschooling our special needs daughter. I am already exhausted, both psychologically and spiritually and physically. I need you to be on the same page with me. That's where you start. And here's the scary thing about being vulnerable. Like, the idea of vulnerability is an animal rolling over and showing its belly. It can get hurt. You put that on the table and he looks at you and says, I'm not talking to you about this, which could happen. It's a risk. Then you have bigger issues. And my gut tells me you have bigger issues. This is not indicative of a healthy marriage. And usually people are not unhealthy in one place. Usually if you get the flu, your whole body hurts and you throw up and you got the rockets and you feel your head hurts. All of you hurt. My guess is this is just a small piece of a larger relationship issue that you need to deal with. Okay. George, what do you think?
I just don't know what to believe about this guy. Like, he's saying they're debt-free with no mortgage. She has no idea because she's not involved in any of the finances. She doesn't even know what kind of business ventures he's into. And so this all seems like it's built on a house of lies. And while she may be in a great place financially, maritally, this is a terrible situation.
And I'm going to go with maybe. Maybe he tells you you're out of debt. You don't know. He tells you that you have no mortgage. We've just
seen so much of this. Where
That's right.
Something happens, he goes, I had no idea. He had 4 different credit cards and a different account that I had no idea. And he racked up all this debt, and now he's disappeared or he's passed away. And then you're left, while grieving, with this whole financial picture to deal with, going, I don't know the login to the bank account.
Right. And let's make no mistake. You are not a Dave Ramsey guy. If your wife does not have an equal, if not more powerful seat at the table.
It was a bonus chapter of Total Money Makeover where Dave said, don't talk about money with your spouse. Make sure to keep all accounts separate.
And secret, yeah.
No, this is not part of the plan. We don't even know if her name is on the bank account.
That's right. Or on the mortgage. If you have ever had the opportunity to sit at a table with Dave and Sharon, you would know that Lauren, your husband, is not a Dave Ramsey guy because Sharon knows everything.
And please tell him to stop self-proclaiming that, because it's embarrassing to all of us.
Yeah, he paid off his credit cards. Great. Good job, man. Paid off his mortgage. Maybe. Good. Do the next hard thing, which is sit down with your wife and explain where all the money is, how it works, and stop using I know something you don't know as a tool of power. That's the weakest form of leadership, is I know something you don't know. It's the worst. All right, let's go to Linda in Orlando, Florida. What's up, Linda?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
Excellent.
I wanted to know, okay, I'm jumping in. I don't know if you want to ask me something.
No,
first.
Come on in. What's up?
Oh, okay. Is it okay to bargain with a debt collector on a hospital bill when the hospital refused to provide an itemized bill?
Well, yes, it's always okay to bargain with collection companies. I'm concerned that they wouldn't give you a bill. Why wouldn't they give you an itemized bill?
So we went through, I have no idea. I asked them twice to mail me that, and they didn't.
Okay.
And they just sent it to collections. It was through the ER. We went to the ER with my husband last year, and they had done an X-ray and a COVID test and said it was COVID, and sent us home saying that they couldn't treat us.
Okay.
And then they send a $1,500 bill, and I said, well, I need an itemized bill. And they said, okay, we'll get back to you. They sent the same bill, nothing itemized, and I asked them again for an itemized bill, and then they sent it to collections.
Okay. So here's my guess. Well, actually, I don't even want to guess. Have you driven up to the hospital and say, I need a bill because now I'm being sued by collections on something that I've never gotten an itemized bill for?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay. This is $1,000. If I told you, hey, there's $1,500 over at the hospital in an envelope and you just go pick it up, you would stop what you're doing and go pick that up. And often, I've been there too, I just wait for emails or I just make phone calls, and I don't actually get in there and not disrespectfully, not ugly, but cause a ruckus and say, hey, you're billing me $1,500. Maybe I do owe that money and I'll pay it, but I need to know what I'm paying. That's not unreasonable. But you need to look somebody in the eye and say, please, while I'm here, print me off a bill. Because I asked for it twice, and now another company is suing me for it, and it's not fair. Because I'm just waiting on you guys. Okay? And it's best if you could even take in take in the dates that you made the phone calls. I called on this day. I called on this day. Here's a copy of my phone records. I've been waiting for this. Really not cool that y'all rolled this thing over already on me. Please give me an opportunity to see what you're even charging me. Like, and then yes, when a collection company calls, absolutely you can negotiate with them.
And never give them any personal information. Never give them access to your bank account. You can do a cashier's check, money order when the time comes. If they do choose to settle, they say, we'll take $1,000. And you can hassle the collections company and say, listen, you show me the itemized bill and I'll be happy to pay. But until then, I don't know what this is and what I'm even paying for. Right. And it could turn out to be a bad debt, and they just clear it.
And it could turn out that you paid $118 for a piece of tape, and you can sit down with the hospital and protest that. But
$90 Tylenol.
Right. They've never given you the opportunity to do that, or a $750 COVID test. Whatever the thing is, who knows? But yeah.
And get it in writing. Whatever they say, yes. Make sure to get it in writing so that you don't call back and say, whoa, I paid in full. And they go, I don't know where you got that from.
That's exactly right.
So just some good steps to protect yourself.
I was stunned. I didn't ever think this through. I shouldn't say I'm stunned. I was surprised. I didn't know this sort of practice would be legal. But our friend Anthony O'Neill used to work for a collection agency for a season. And the gold standard was to get, like, I'll cut a deal with you right now. I'll take $1,000 off, but I'm going to direct deposit it. I'm going to direct withdraw it from your checking account. You got to, if you give me your checking account number, I'm going to get this thing done right now. And I'll do $500 over the next 7 months. And people were so desperate, they'd say, okay, great, I got a payment plan. And man, that money would start
they'll just drain the account.
Draining out of that account. That's right. So don't ever give your checking account number, your credit card number, anything like that. Always get it in writing. And get a cashier's check from your bank. It's worth $3 or $5 or whatever it costs to get that done. Thank you so much for the call, Linda. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. Give us a shout. We'll be right back. Triple 825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. Let's go out to Alan in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. What's up, Alan? How we doing, man?
I'm doing the best I can, and my wife and I are 36 years old. We are a family of 5, a blended family, and our oldest is 12. We split 50-50 custody, and we have 2 other kids of 7 and 4. And like I said, we are dealing with our oldest 12-year-old. About 6 weeks ago, threatened to take his life, and thankfully told my wife and I on the phone and we've been taking him to therapy once a week. And I'm just kind of seeking your advice what else we should do in our situation. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, man. Was that out of the blue? Has 12-year-old been struggling for a while?
Because we are 50-50 split with his father and coming to our house. That's a good chunk of it. Besides at school, he said, of bullying. And it just puts a lot of stress with that.
Yeah. What's the relationship like with Biodad?
It's for the most part good.
Okay. Or let me ask it this way: after, I'm assuming after your 12-year-old said he's thinking about dying by suicide, you got him into the mental health care that he needed. That's a moment, and if it hasn't happened yet, this is step number 1. That all the adults get in a room. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care any of that stuff. If everybody is going to act like an adult, they need to get in a room. because now this is different than I get this and I get that stuff's got to be put on the back burner because we got a young kid here who's crying out for help.
Yes, we're just thankful that my wife and him are a little bit closer than his dad, and always communicate regularly, whether he's especially with us at home, but when he's with his dad, make sure everything's okay. And we're just thankful that he didn't hold something in, taking his life a little bit much longer, and so we could help the best that we could.
How's counseling going?
So far, it's so good. It's helped him to speak out with the therapist, and
you sound like you're struggling.
As a stepfather, trying to make sure that he's okay, and we're trying to co-parent with his father. And
let me go back to what I said. Have you and his father and your wife and his father's wife or girlfriend, whoever, have y'all gotten in a room and said, we have to work together on what comes next?
My wife and his father, yes, but the three of us communicating on the phone together,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. The next step here, so you got your kid in counseling, which is great. The next thing I want you to look at is the environment of your home. Where are other things on fire in your house, stress-wise? How's your marriage? How are your other kids? Are you struggling financially? Do you have addiction issues? Like, where is other tension? Here's what I always want to look at with kids. Kids absorb tension. They absorb people always say, like, my parents got divorced when I was 7, and my first thought is, yeah, but you lived through their relationship from age 4 to 7. Right, so that trauma is 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, if not more. Where are other tension points in your home right now?
Well, the paycheck to paycheck. I worked overnights, and my wife was a stay-at-home mother to try to save on daycare. Mm-hmm. And now she recently, right here 4 weeks ago, began back to work to help me out, and I have since got a day shift job to be at home at night to help with getting all the kids at home taken care of, and with the oldest situation to be there as well.
So is that hurting you financially? Is that helping you financially? What is the status there? 'Cause paycheck to paycheck's a lot of stress in your home.
We're about the same, if not a little bit further behind.
Okay.
Since then, she's kind of replaced my second job income, but
so here's what I want you to do. What do you do for a living?
I work in a meat processing plant.
Okay. Here's what
works at a daycare.
I want you to. That was a great move on her part. She can get a discount. I want you to think about what life looks like, Alan, in 24 months, 2 years, 36 months, 48 months. And I want you to be honest with yourself about your financial reality with which you have found yourself. And I rely exclusively on a great butcher who helps me and my family out. And you might have found yourself in a profession that you love that simply is not tenable anymore because you can't eat or you can't breathe because it doesn't make enough money. And you can't keep working 20-hour days with multiple kids. And I mean, you did the right thing coming home. But I want you to begin thinking long-term now. Paycheck to paycheck causes us, poverty causes us, fear about money causes us to get laser focused on the next minute, and the next minute we start to lose the bigger picture. And you blink and you're 49 years old working the same job with the same problems. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I want you to give yourself some space, whether that's I'm going to take an afternoon off and I know I can't afford it. We're going to figure it out. And either you go talk to somebody or you get one or two people in your life that are 10 years ahead of you that you trust, and you say, okay, I'm going to have to make an adjustment because I'm just trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm getting further and further behind. And I would say this is a work conversation, and I'm going to send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, Paycheck to Purpose, and I'm going to send you a copy of his Get Clear assessment on other jobs you might have. But I don't know that this is a work issue right now. This is I'm exhausted. I married into this. This is not the picture of my life I drew up. I'm just worn out. That's what this sounds like. Am I right?
Not fully. It's just I know sometimes the Lord tests the strong, and everything kind of just hit us all at once. And since February, with my mother-in-law going to the hospital, and then I missed a week of work, and then we fell behind, taking out a little bit more loans and trying to just stay afloat. And then with that,
I know, Alan, you're not listening to me, brother. You've got no margin, right?
No.
And as hard as this is to say, she will go back to the hospital at some point. My mom and dad will too. I was at a funeral for a family member 2 days ago. It happens suddenly. There will be challenges. And so your goal, the reason we tell people this idea of peace, this idea of being able to go to sleep, is not going to keep mom from getting cancer. Financial peace is not going to keep kids from getting bullied at school. But it's going to give us some margin to deal with those things when they happen. That's what we're talking about. You are in desperate need of peace, of margin, so that you can take a week off to be with your mother-in-law in the hospital, and your family doesn't have to decide, do we eat or keep the heater on? That's what we're talking about. And that's going to require you to get back and say, whoa, what comes next? Hang on the line. I'm also going to send you a copy of Total Money Makeover and Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's 3 books that I want you to read. Spend some time and start thinking, how do we survive this right now? You're doing a great job. Got your kid in counseling. You and your wife probably need to go see somebody. Not probably, they do. And then you have to start asking yourself, what are we going to do in 2 years, in 3 years? And you've got to reverse engineer it and start planning now. You, my brother, are worth a life of peace. It's another hour in the books here on The Ramsey Show. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Here on The Ramsey Show, America hangs out to have a conversation about your money, your life, and I'm stumbling through the intro here, George.
You're just so nervous to be co-hosting with me, John. It happens to the best of us.
It's hard to sit in the shadow of your excellence.
It's such a small shadow.
It's such a...
It's amazing.
That is true. I should stand up.
It's impressive on its own right.
I'm John Deloney, joined by George Campbell, and we're taking your calls, 888-825-5225, and I hope to not stumble through your calls. Let's go to Liz in Mobile, Alabama. What's up, Liz?
Represent.
Hi, John. It's so good to talk to you again. It's supposed to be about a year ago. And I'm in a much different place in life now, so I'm happy to report that. But I've got a question for you.
Well, tell me about your journey. What's happened over the last year?
I don't know anything about it, Liz. Give me the spark notes.
About a year ago, I was at a place where I was escaping domestic violence with my 5 children. Had nowhere to go, had no income, had been a stay-at-home mother for 15 years. Was living in a camper in my friend's backyard.
Yes, I remember you, Liz. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks for calling back. Where are you now?
Hey, well, you know, the kids and I are healthy and well. I am a full-time student. I'm going into nursing.
Wow.
I quickly found out that, there's no entry-level job that you can get that really supports a family this large.
Right.
So I'm going after my dreams that I abandoned all those years ago.
Liz,
I'm so proud of you.
what a gift for you, your community, those people you're going to serve, and for your kids. You are a real life. No, hold on. You're a real life model of what it looks like to get knocked down and get back up. We teach our kids that. We read them children's books and we talk about it. Your kids are going to have a picture of it.
I hope so.
You are incredible.
That's my greatest hope.
Good
Well,
for
thank
you. All right, so how can we help you today?
Nothing if not for God who goes before me, because I tell you, he's been there every step of the way. When I said, I don't know how I'm going to pay bills or how I'm going to pay rent, it was there. Through no doing of my own. His people and his hand have just been all over our lives. It's just been a miracle. But
awesome.
The big money question that I'm looking at right now is I'm still in a place where my income is less than my outcome.
Okay.
As less than, I'm making far less than what I'm spending. And luckily I do have a substantial savings right now, as it were. But I drive a very large vehicle with the kids. And it gets terrible gas mileage. I've been looking into getting a second vehicle because what I'm doing for work now is delivering, either packages or, food delivery, things like this that I can do outside of school hours. It provides me the flexibility and schedule, and things come up with the kids, so it's a good couple of hustles to have. So I like having the big van for when we need to go places. I need to have all the kids with me or what have you, but it's so bad on mileage that I'm considering dropping $3,000 or $4,000 into a decent, reliable, smaller vehicle for when I don't need to have all the people with me, and that can still give me the availability to, haul all the packages I need to do my job, but also be a more efficient daily driver.
Could you split the difference? Could you sell the bigger car and get a smaller one that still fits the kids?
That's the issue is not. I feel like if we got something smaller and got entirely rid of the larger vehicle, it would be difficult. I happen to have really, my older two are quite tall now. It's not super feasible to get everybody into,
how tall are these kids? I'm genuinely curious as a small guy.
My two teenagers are, 6 feet and 6'2".
Represent.
Yeah, those are giants sitting next to George.
So
I wouldn't, Liz. I wouldn't.
My worry partially is what happens when both cars need repairs, and now you're paying insurance on two cars, and what you thought was going to be a benefit is now more of an expense.
That's what buying $3,000 or $4,000. Okay, let's say you did the math on here's what the gas mileage is. Here's what I would save. Right. Here's that gap. I could actually make more money if I had a $3,000 or $4,000 car. Great, that math is fine. George just brought up a great point. You have to bring in the math of the extra insurance and the extra, that's another oil change, another set of tires, another set of all those things build up and up and up and up. So at one point I had an old truck that I was going to rebuild with me and my son. Disaster. I don't know if we've never met, but I'm not a rebuilder. And I kept my wife's Corolla as just a paid off car that we had in the driveway that could be my daily driver. And then after paying the registration, the oil change, I realized my free car was costing me a big chunk of money every month, annualized over the course of a year. And I realized, this isn't so free at all. Right. So I ended up selling it because it never made its money back on the gas.
How close are your kids to driving?
That's the other consideration I was going to bring up. We're months away. So
they're going to need a car.
To drive on a 12-passenger van is not ideal. You don't want to learn to drive on a loaf of bread.
No, it's fantastic.
Are they saving for a car?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd love to take them parallel parking. It'd be a riot.
Yeah, and hey, you don't have to worry about them dating. That's going to be fantastic.
Well, giving a kid a van can go the other way too.
Oh,
so that's
there you go.
You
Right.
You don't want to turn a teenager loose.
That was my first car was driving mom and dad's minivan. It's awesome.
Well played, Liz. Well played.
So I'm just wondering, can the kids save up and maybe you match them and you get a car and maybe you can use it for your side hustle and until they're fully driving and out of the house a little bit. Is that a possibility? Have they been saving up for a car?
What he has been saving up a little bit. Is in school full time playing sports at a private school as well, which is another.
Oh boy, that's the real expense in your life is private school.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Faith-based private school, so we're just, it's everywhere. I'm just so thankful. But he has, he's not able to work a whole lot. He does his own business. He does lawn care and odd jobs and things.
Oh, great. So he can save up $3,000 over a year?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I would certainly expect him to, cover insurance, gas if he's driving full-time. I think that would be a fair expectation if I were to purchase a second vehicle.
Okay. When are you done with school?
Either way. It's going to be about 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe a semester less, 3-4 more semesters.
Cool. Well, this is all temporary, so I would find a temporary solution, and that might mean you buy a beater car and you give it to the kid later on and he buys it from you, but the A1 is getting to a financial place, and that worries me to have all of these extra expenses.
I would probably just keep the van and let that, and every time I fill it up at night, I would let it inspire me to keep grinding and get out of this mess. But that's just me.
I love it.
We'll be right back. This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Camel, and we are taking your calls on life, money, work, mental health, relationships, all of it. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Nick in Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, Nick? How we doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Outstanding, my man. What's up?
Hey, so I'm 23 years old, and I'm sure this topic has been covered before, but I was just looking for insight on, moving out of your parents' house and, which one is more important, kind of, saving up a nest egg just because it'll be my first, venture, in a, expensive apartment, or would it be, paying off debt?
Very cool, man. So, you have a job?
I do. Yes. I make $50,000.
Fantastic, man. What are you doing?
I work at Enterprise, the car rental business.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Cool. And what is now causing you at 23 to go, all right, I've had enough, I'm moving out?
Nothing major, it's really good here. It's just, I kind of want that independence and, creating something for myself.
Very cool.
And you're in Atlanta proper?
I am.
And what is rent right now in the areas you would want to live in?
It's looking like around that $1,500 to $1,700 range or somewhere, not even just luxury, but, safe, I would say, because, Atlanta's kind of it's a different type of city. So I would say, somewhere safe and prosperous, about $1,500 to $1,700.
And what is your take-home pay every month? What ends up in your bank account?
About $3,000 after taxes.
And so we're talking about over 50% of your income going towards rent if you move out today.
Yes.
Does that not frighten you?
It does. That's why it's just like...
Twice calling us, George.
Well, I'm trying to just open up some options here. Could you get a roommate?
I could. That could work.
I'm going to rephrase that. You have to get a roommate. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it as an option. This is part of... So here's my thing. You talked about independence, and the truth is, right now we can't afford full independence. We're going to have someone else living with us regardless.
Sure.
And so the question is, do you want it to be a stranger or your family? I get it. You want to get out. You want to feel like I'm a grown man, leaving the nest, and I love that. But you're going to have to get a roommate in order to afford living where you want to live.
Definitely. That's the bad thing about living in Georgia.
So that's part of it. That's something to grapple with, is you're going to have to vet and find a reliable, safe, trustworthy roommate who pays on time, who you get along with at some level. So that's part of the picture. The other one is all of the other expenses that come along with that. You're going to need to get renter's insurance. You are now not able to eat dinner at your parents' house every day, so you're going to have to learn how to cook, because going out to eat every day is going to make you broke. And we're not going out to eat because we got some debt to pay off. Is that right?
Very true.
Okay, how much debt?
About $50,000 in total between school and credit cards.
Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah,
what was your degree in?
I got it in sociology.
Oh, Nick.
If we could turn back time, Nick.
If I could turn back time.
We sing or else we cry.
That's right. So, Nick, if I'm you, well, let me just tell you, I'm just going to be honest. I've never told this story publicly, George.
Nervous and excited.
At 21, I was at my parents' house after graduating college, and I had a chance encounter with an old track coach. I ended up taking a job as a high school teacher and coach in the Houston area. And I was going to live with my parents for a while and pay off my student loans. Within a month, my dad was like, hey, man, what if I paid your first month's rent? And I was like, I'm already out of here. And if I had to do that all over, I would have stayed there until I was debt-free.
Yes, very true.
By me not taking 2 years to take care of my business, I went and bought the biggest stupid truck I could. I went and got a nice apartment. I just lived beyond my means. And I wouldn't recommend doing that. I wouldn't run out of my mom and dad's house until I was debt free.
What are your monthly payments, Nick, between the student loans and the credit card?
Probably about $300.
That's it?
No way.
That feels way too low for $50,000 worth of debt.
Well, I haven't started paying my all my student loans yet. I haven't paid one.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is life hasn't actually happened yet.
Yeah, life's about to hit you in the mouth, dude.
When those student loans get unpaused, it's going to be a harsh reality, my friend.
I'm so glad you called us, because you were about to go sign a $1,700 a month lease.
For 12 months.
For 12 months, and then you're going to have to start paying back your student loans. You're going to realize you have $11 left over after just expenses.
And then you're going to have to break the lease, pay the fees, and then move back in with mom and dad with your head hung low. So yes. I'm not in the boat of like you have to pay off all the debt before you leave the house, but I do think we have to think long and hard about how we're going to do this. And maybe it's an exit strategy of, hey, I'm going to pay off as much debt as I can aggressively. I'm working overtime, and a year from now, I'm going to move out, and then I'm going to get a roommate, and I'm still going to work overtime, and I'm still not going to be eating out because I want this debt gone.
Very true. That's the goal.
And so I love that you want to be independent. I think that's a great thing. It's going to do a lot for your dignity and for your spirit. But right now, it's going to be a burden and a curse if you just jump ship today.
Very true.
So make a plan. Here's the deal. We're going to send you Financial Peace University, okay? As your graduation gift. We're going to send you Every Dollar app, too, so you can begin tracking your money. You can practice making a budget, and maybe get your parents to watch these videos, too, with you. Get some buddies together and watch them. And I want you to watch all these things. We're going to send them to you, okay? And we're going to give you a year of the apps. You can start tracking your money. I want you to begin to live in or own or acknowledge, whatever word you want to use. You've got to live in reality. And you want to be independent. You want to jump off. I'm all in. I've been there. I totally get it. And you simply have put yourself in a financial position where you can't afford to do that yet responsibly. You could if you had to. You'd end up in a part of the community, like you mentioned, that you don't want to live in, or you're going to have 2 or 3 roommates, and you find yourself, man, I wish I just had mom here. At least she cooked dinner and did my laundry sometimes.
My roommates don't even do the dishes.
It's the inverse. It's disgusting. They let things soak instead of putting them in the dishwasher.
But I had roommates up until I was married.
I did, absolutely.
And it's just a part of a financial reality. We live in a very wealthy county, and so to live anywhere near here, you're looking at, 12, it used to be $800, $900 for a 2-bedroom in the general Nashville area.
Now it's $100 million.
Now it's $4 billion, and that gets you it's like a New York studio apartment.
It's exactly right.
So it's just part of the reality is I don't want to do this, but I got to get a roommate because I have financial goals, and I can't meet those goals if I have all this debt hanging over my head and my payment is gigantic.
So here's a common thing when people have to face reality. Dave and I've talked about, I didn't mean to put on 40 pounds during COVID. It happened, right? This is reality. I didn't mean to look up and sell them $100,000 in debt. It happened. I didn't mean to. Wait, I've gone 3 weeks and me and my wife haven't had a meaningful conversation, or I snapped at my kids. There's something about not looking to blame, not looking to run out and be like, well, just exhaling and looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, this time this one's on me. Yes, I did what I was told. Yes, my parents told me to go to college and take out big student loans. Yes, I just was told after college, you're not coming back to this house. And so I went and got an apartment. I did it. I signed my name on that line. I listened to bad information. I did the best I could with what I had, but here's where I'm at. This is my reality. Because only then can you ask yourself that scary, terrifying question of, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Right? And there's a season for most of us of grief. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't understand what this was going to feel like when I got here with golly, man, can you imagine? Nick is millions and millions and millions of us.
Yeah.
Right? Man, I'm making $50,000. I'm making great money, especially for my first job. I didn't make $50,000 at 23, right? And surely I can get an apartment and a car and food and go hang out with my friends and go to concerts. Nope.
That's part of the narrative we tell our kids.
Not if you owe $50,000 in student loans and you have a car loan and you got a credit card. I mean, you
can't wait till I'm an adult and I can live on my own. And then you realize I can't afford to do any of this.
Or I'm going to eat Taco Bell every meal. And then your digestive system has a stake, right? We think this is going to be this way. It's just not. You got to own reality and you got to grieve it. Man, I didn't mean for it to. And then you got to say, okay, what do we do next, right? And that's where Financial Peace is so great.
Absolutely. So hang on the line, Nick. We're going to make sure to get you Financial Peace University and Every Dollar, get you on a plan. I can't wait for you to call back 2 years from now and be like, I'm completely debt-free, living on my own.
We did it.
I did it.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Camel. Listen, right now is the time of the year when it's make or break when it comes to our goals. We're heading into holiday season, and I don't care who you are. It's hard to stay motivated. When it gets cold and it's dark in the morning, it's just hard to get up and get going. We all have goals, whether it's to find a better job, make more money, pay off debt, build stronger relationships, and it can be hard to get momentum going and to keep it going. But here's the good news. Coming up in a couple of weeks, we have one of our biggest events, Smart Conference. We're headed to Dallas for a day-long, jam-packed event where you'll get advice from leading experts on money, personal growth, career, mental health, and your marriage. You'll leave with all the knowledge and motivation you need to reach your goals and live the life you want. Join Dave Ramsey and the rest of the Ramsey personalities, including me, Ken Coleman, Christina Ellis, Rachel Cruz, even George Camel.
Appreciate the invite.
George Camel got invited. And we're also going to have Craig Rochelle and his wife. There's a bunch of people. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have live music. It's going to be an all-day event. Join us live in person on October 22nd to get your passes before they sell out, and it will sell out. Visit RamseySolutions.com/events to get your tickets today. Very, very cool.
It's going to be a fun one.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Live band. We're going to audition to try to be in it. We'll see if they'll have us.
I think it's going to be no chance.
Okay.
No chance. All right, let's go to RJ in Spokane, Washington. What's up, RJ?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it. What's up?
I have a question. So my husband and I are about 60 years old, and due to the some circumstances with COVID, we had to shut down our business and retire 5 years earlier than expected. So in the meantime, we have no income for the next 5 years until we can draw Social Security. and I am looking for guidance or advice on ways that we can make the money we do have last, until we're 85, 90 years old.
Can I ask you a hard question, RJ?
Sure.
So I want you to picture me and you having some nachos, me, you, and George sitting at a table just hanging out. Okay, this isn't me like pointing my finger at you. Okay.
Okay.
You and your husband had to close your business, but you did not have to retire early. And you may have had 5 years of doing jobs that you hated or didn't like. I was with my mom this weekend, and she called about a year and a half ago and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about retiring." And my first question was, "Can you afford to retire?" And that sounds like a question y'all didn't ask yourselves. It sounds like you just jumped and retired early. Why'd you do that?
Well, we couldn't find help. We couldn't find workers. And so we were in an accident like 10 years ago, and my husband really is no longer he was a very hard worker, and he just is no longer to be out on the job site.
Okay.
I watch my grandkids, which is I could go get a job, but I've raised my kids. Now I'm just kind of watching my grandkids, and we could get a job, I guess, making minimum wage.
Yeah.
Why minimum wage?
Why would you say that about yourself?
Well, I'm old. We're old.
I don't care. This is one of the hottest job markets, the hottest job market ever. I
just talked to a 58-year-old. He was making $130,000 working in IT. There's no such thing as, I'm 60, so I have to do minimum wage jobs. You have amazing experience.
All of that, and we couldn't find workers.
Okay, but that was a couldn't several years ago, and now we're here right now. Okay. And let's look at it this way. You had a season of we have to shut this thing down. Nobody will work, or nobody can work. The city shut down. We can't afford payroll. We can't afford to keep our business going. We're closing the business. Honey, You can't get up and grind it like you used to. You put in like 30, 40, 50, 60 years of grinding it out for the family. We can't do that anymore. Okay, so here we are. You really want to raise your kids and then raise those grandkids. And I want to give my kids relief right now. The reality is, if y'all run out of money at 87, your kids are going to pay that bill. Fair?
Yeah.
And so I think the greatest gift you could give your kids is to say, hey, we can't afford to do what we're doing right now. We have found ourselves in an unsustainable, we're looking at the numbers down the road. This is unsustainable. We're going to have to do something different. And I want you to set your goals way higher than minimum wage. You've got incredible value to offer. And I have no idea even what your job was, what you can do. I know, though, you've got too much experience to just walk in and say, well, lowly me, nobody wants me. No way. You already keep kids. You could open a daycare in your home and make $1 jillion because we paid childcare before. They basically print money, right? I don't know what your skill set is. I don't know what you want to do. But that's my first initial question, is why have you just said this is the way this has to be for 5 years, and how do we stretch this and do this, and oh no, I don't know how it's going to work. It sounds like you have a picture of the life that you want, and you're trying to make math that doesn't work fit that picture, and you're going to make yourself bananas, and you're going to find yourself broke at 85 years old.
Well, but I'm hoping what we do have won't, so I won't see that scenario.
That'd be great.
Hit us with some numbers.
So what do you got? Yeah. Watch it. She's going to say, I've got $11 million, and I'm going to feel like an idiot. Go ahead.
I wish. But I want you to know, we were married young. We have been very poor. So we've worked hard for what we have. So we live frugally. We don't drive big fancy cars or anything like that. So, but this is what we do have. So we have about $500,000 invested. We have about $300,000 in checking savings account. Our house is worth about $800,000, and we have probably a little over, but right about $1 million in land and real estate that we've acquired over the year, which every year can rise or lower. You just don't know. But right now it's that. And then we have about $200,000 kind of stashed away in cash that my husband just likes
Physical
to keep on
cash.
hand. So physical.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a couple $1 million. RJ, lead with that. Lead with that.
What's the $500K invested in?
It's with an investor that I know it goes by the S&P 500.
Oh, it's not retirement.
Is it just an index fund?
It kind of is.
Well, it's no kind of. Either it's a retirement account or it's a non-retirement account.
No, it's a retirement account because when we're 65, it will pay us money.
Oh, no. Is this an annuity?
I don't know exactly what it's called. It's through a Dave Ramsey investor.
Okay.
That we found.
Then it should not be an annuity then.
I can't remember what it actually is called, but we earn
annuity is a contract with an insurance company, and then it pays you a fixed income later on in life. That's what it sounds like you're describing. So
but no smart investor from our company would recommend that.
Okay.
And the home is paid for? The $800,000 home?
It is.
Oh, wonderful.
It is. Although I do have another question on that down the road, but everything is paid for. We owe nothing. We have no bills. And
you guys are going to be fine.
You're fine.
Now,
how old are you, RJ? Sorry, George.
60.
60. Okay. So, if you worked with a Smart Investor Pro and you said, "Hey, listen, we want to have this kind of lifestyle. We want to pull, I don't know, $80K a year, let's say," then we would go, "All right, well, we do 25 times 80, and that would kind of give you your magic number to tell you this is kind of what you're looking at. If you want to pull $80,000 a year, you need $2 million in that account to withdraw from at about a 4% rate so that it can continue to grow. That's called the Trinity rule. And so I would consider maybe selling this land and real estate if it hasn't been doing that great, and you can get $1 million and go ahead and invest that. And invest this $200,000 in cash that is just burning a hole in the ground and can't keep up with inflation. Put that in a high yield savings account even and make 2.5% on it. So I just don't want you sitting on the sidelines because you're fearful of, are you going to have enough money in retirement? So get in touch with a different Smart Investor Pro. I don't know who you're working with, and get a second opinion on all of this money and all these numbers so that it can work for you.
And let's get a map, a direction. Here's where we're going. Here's how much money we need to get, and here's what it's going to take to get there. And let's don't work in clouds and fantasies, okay? Let's get some real numbers. Today's scripture of the day is from Leviticus 1:14. But if his offering to the Lord is a burnt offering of birds, then he shall bring his offering from the turtle doves or from young doves. I don't know what that means. Jace Robertson from Duck Dynasty says, doves are the filet mignon of the sky.
That is a great quote.
It's a lot of doves.
So many doves.
A lot of doves. Are
they trolling you?
I think I'm getting trolled.
Okay.
I think it's dove season. I think I just got trolled with some old school Leviticus. Well done.
Leave it to Leviticus to roast you.
Leave it to Jace Robertson. All right, let's go to Michelle in Birmingham. What's up, Michelle?
Nothing much. How are y'all?
Excellent. How are you?
I am surviving a cold, but a quick question for you.
Good. We'll get better soon. What's up?
Thank you. Can I make contributing to my HSA a part of my 15% going to retirement?
It's not a part of the 15%. I want you to contribute to that, but it wouldn't be considered retirement because it can only be used towards, qualified health expenses, and it can't put food on the table. It can't really do much other than cover some health care.
Gotcha.
And so I would invest 15%. Are you in baby step 4? Are you out of debt completely and have a fully funded emergency fund?
Yes, I do have that.
Okay. great. So beyond the 15%, if you want to contribute to your HSA, it's a great investing vehicle because the money goes in tax-free, grows tax-free. You can withdraw it tax-free towards those qualified health expenses. And you can put as much in there. There's some limits, but past about $1,000, at least in ours, you can invest that money, and so it can actually grow for you tax-free as part of an overarching retirement plan, but it's not part of the actual 15%.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, great
Very
question.
cool.
Have enough in
Sounds
there to
like
cover
you're
your
crushing
deductible.
it. Yeah.
Way to go. Even with the cold. Still crushing it. Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll get better soon.
Thank you so much. Hope you feel better soon. Let's go to Almir in Minneapolis. I always say that wrong every time. What's up, Almir?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Absolutely. What's up, man?
So my question is about you guys' credit cards. I know you guys are not for credit cards, and I understand.
Can you speak
why.
a little more clearly for us, Almir?
Talk into the microphone there.
Can you hear me?
In your
Can you hear
phone.
me better?
Perfect. Yep.
So I know you guys are against credit cards, and I understand why. But I shouldn't say I figured out a system, but for me, I have all of our recurring bills that we have to pay for every month, whether it's tithes, daycare, electric, gas, set on a credit card, which stays in a safe account. And then every month when my credit card payment is due, which I'd pay anyways, I pay it off every month. And I would get $50, sometimes $100 in reward points every month. Is there a negative to that, or is there a positive? I use that $50, $100 to reinvest in some certain ETFs or stocks on Robinhood.
Well, I don't know what plan you've been following, but it's not the Ramsey plan, and that's fine. It sounds like you're doing great financially. You're out of debt completely. You've got a fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah, I'm out of debt. I got a fully funded emergency fund. I have 15% between our household income put away. I'm on a 20-year loan for a 20-year term for our mortgage. So I'm doing all the steps. I know that the one big step is no credit cards, but I just found that something that worked. I implemented a few years, and I'm building wealth out of it.
Sure. Well, we would never tell you to invest in single stocks, and I did a whole episode on the Robinhood app on my podcast, The Fine Print. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check that out. But the credit card dilemma that you're bringing up is one that we get a lot, and everyone that brings it up is going, listen, I get it. People can't control their spending, but I have mastered it. I have figured it out. I never spend a dime on interest. I get my cash back. I am winning. I'm beating the system. And at the end of the day, it's not moments like that where you lose. It's the moments where life doesn't go exactly according to plan. And now all of a sudden we have to put those on the credit card because we had an emergency that exceeded our income and we don't know what to do now. And life kept punching us in the face and we went, well, at least we're still getting the cashback rewards. And so truthfully, I think you can do a lot better just spending with a debit card when you use your own money. And I understand you're putting recurring bills that you normally would spend on, right?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
But psychologically, we make different decisions, number one, with other people's money, and number two, with that kind of reward level thinking.
And Almir, I was in your exact shoes, okay? I had recurring bills put on a credit card that got me free flight points, and I never was going to be in debt again. I paid it off every month, and all was good. Let me tell you why I quit, okay? And I don't think any of the rules apply to me, and I always think I'm the exception, right? So I'm like you. I'm never going to have a problem. I've got an emergency fund. I'm not worried about ever going into debt again. I'm just going to take their free money. Here's why I quit. I was beating that system, if you will. I was playing their game, and I was doing fine. You are too. But somebody's paying that $1,500 a month that you take home. And you know who it is? It's the single mom with 4 kids that can't eat. And she's paying for your Robinhood account. It was the guy who just got fired and couldn't buy groceries, and so he had to put on a credit card. That was the dude who was paying for my flights at 30%. And I couldn't stomach taking a free flight off the backs of some of people who had hit rock bottom or people who had legitimate issues psychologically with controlling their spending or whatever. I opted out of that system because it's disgusting. And I don't want that free flight. I'll pay for my own flights. I'll figure it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why I opted out of it, man. The whole system is so predatory off those who are struggling, who don't know any better, or who are found themselves in a mess. where their rent just doubled and they live in a city they can't afford and they can't get a new job in one day. Well, I've got you. I got you covered at 30%, at 28%, and if you miss a payment, it goes to 40%. And by the way, you can never borrow. I'm just out of that system, man, because somebody else is paying for my flights. That's why I got out.
Yeah, I'm curious, Elmir. How much are you spending a month to get $50 back?
So I have a two-way system. One of my systems. So I started this a few years ago, and I think the biggest thing is discipline. I'm a very disciplined person. I mean, I'm an immigrant as well. I've seen my parents in debt, and I see what credit cards can do. I've trained myself to never be in debt, and I never will. But like I said, I have recurring bills that get charged, like my tithe, my daycare, all these things will get charged in my account. Then I do the Dave Ramsey envelopes. And then in one of my envelope systems, one of the envelopes says return or credit card payment. So we have two credit cards. One is a smaller one. So if we buy groceries, I'll put groceries on a credit card. I'll transfer that money from that envelope to my. So it always balances. You just have to be disciplined.
This is some fancy footwork you're doing, man. And my parents are immigrants as well. My dad is from Egypt, and I watched him do this growing up, and it's giving me PTSD to hear about it because I know the anxiety of, oh my gosh, we had to move the 0% APR to this card to get this reward, and it's bonkers, man. So you do you, but man, it's so much more peaceful to do the Ramsey way.
Yeah, I'm opting out of the system. I'll pay the peace tax, is what I call it.
Absolutely.
I'll lose out on that $50 to not have to deal with it, man. But thank you so much for the call, Elmir. Hey, real quick, Pods giveaway. We know a lot of you are planning on moving soon, and we got great news. Our new studio sponsor, Pods Moving and Storage, wants to help one of you move for free. Just get a quote at pods.com/Ramsey between October 3rd and October 14th to win, right? It's really that simple. One listener will get a free move or a free storage rental. That's up to a $5,000 value. Look, Pods just makes moving easier with the flexibility you need, the control you want, and the customer service you deserve. If you're looking for a company that will help you move on your terms, Pods is the only Ramsey trusted moving provider out there. So go to pods.com/Ramsey and enter to win a free moving or storage rental today. That's pods.com/Ramsey. And dude, I was just thinking,
I love that.
When I moved, I would have loved this system. I didn't even know it existed, man. I'm so excited
incredible.
about this. It's awesome.
Great company, great leaders over there.
Well, hey, thanks George Camel for co-hosting the show. I'd like to thank all the guys in the booth. And thank you, America, for staying with us and hanging out with us. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you soon. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.